Well, hi there, everybody, especially lovely Timberline family. Jeff and Kay here. It is 4 p.m. here in the UK. What time is it in Colorado?
9 o'clock, I believe.
9 a.m. in Colorado. Welcome to what is afternoon tea for us, and it's sort of cake and tea for you at breakfast, which let's face it is a bit
Rather strange
it is a bit weird.
breakfast.
Got to say, I mean, you've been getting a lot of compliments on the sort of slightly new hairstyle, the curl, the heated curlers, I believe. Is that giving
Mm,
away a secret?
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Heated rollers, except when you go out and it's damp, it doesn't last very long.
Right. Right.
But I have to say that purple jumper looks rather splendid on you, Jeff.
I think so too. Thank you very much for recognising that, darling. It's the colour purple, of course, is
Of royalty.
the colour of royalty, and
Hmm.
I put this on today, basically, because the Queen said she might pop in, and we said, look, if you come, you can say hello to everybody at Timberline, but we did say, look, you've got to be here, Your Majesty, on time. Otherwise, we're not going to let you in and disturb the Timberline broadcast.
Well, that's. Oh,
Oh, there she is.
I think she's knocking at the window there, Jeff.
Yeah, look,
Oh,
look, you may be the Queen, but we told you you've got to be here at the right. No,
oh, Jeff, surely we can let her in.
no,
Oh,
no.
sorry,
You'll have to wait
Queenie.
outside until we're done. But we'll pass your greetings on. All right. Now you just sit down there on your portable throne that you brought with you for this emergency, and we'll be talking to you later, Your
At least it's not
Majesty.
raining
It's
outside.
not raining. Yeah, we should bow.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, Stephen Mitchell is signed on and says Merry Christmas to us both and the
Merry
family.
Christmas to you, Steve.
And if you're watching us live right now, why not say hello? It would be nice to hear from you and we can identify you and say hi back. So, what a beautiful looking cake we have got here.
Mm.
Oh, by the way, we should say, just to be clear, the Queen isn't. She's not really outside. That's silly, isn't it? We wouldn't do that. She's in the bathroom, but she might pop out later. Anyway, this is rather nice.
It is, isn't it? It's a traditional English Christmas
Why
cake
do you say English rather than British?
because it is very much English style cake.
So we're not being sort of superiorly is not a word, but it's just that our friends in Scotland, Wales, and Ireland have actually got their own traditions.
They do, and they have their own Christmas cake. The ingredients are just slightly different, that's why.
In Scotland, it's called a Dundee cake.
It is, because it originated from Dundee.
So look at this beauty. I mean, it's a fruit cake.
It's a very rich fruit cake.
What's that on the top there?
It has icing, and typically people would decorate it for Christmas. There's a little bit of holly and berries on this one, but you can put all sorts of things on parcels, Father Christmas, just make it Christmassy.
So,
Sorry to interrupt,
yeah, please.
we typically would eat Christmas cake on Christmas Day.
But that's not always the case, is it?
No.
In other countries, they eat this on Christmas Eve traditionally, I believe.
Indeed. I was looking up Japan. They really like their cakes,
Right.
and they have a huge selection of cakes at Christmas, and they eat them on Christmas Eve. They're typically made of sponge with lots of gooey frosting and whipped cream on top.
Now, last week we were exploring the mysteries. Hi, Charlie in Wyoming. We were exploring the mysteries of mince pies, which are described as mince pies, but
Mm-hmm.
they are not mince
Mm-hmm.
anymore. But they used to be. They used to be savoury, and the Christmas cake used to be savoury as well, didn't
It
it?
did. So the Christmas cake was known as porridge or plum pottage or Christmas pottage, and it was made of beef and cloves and apple and raisins. So it was a savoury, more of a meaty meal, I think, than a sweet. Somewhere along the way, we've converted all these original savoury, meaty recipes into sweet ones.
So, as history has unfolded, we've got more of a sweet tooth.
I think so.
I'm sure there's some meaning and significance in that, but I can't think of what it might be at the moment. Do you think we should pour the tea?
Yes,
And
I'll
perhaps
pour
we
the
should
tea.
cut the cake and show everybody what this looks like inside. It does look very, very rich, I've got to say. And And we obviously don't really want to eat this, but it is our Christian duty to serve you. So, hi, Joy Coles. Merry Christmas to you as well. And Kelly Rogers, and a Merry Christmas as well to you. And others who are watching us, and when I can see now, we've got quite a few people. Do you know that last week, when we were talking about mince pies, I mean, I don't know what reach means when you look at Facebook, but it was a lot of people were chiming in and listening to us blethering on about mince pies, which was really rather encouraging and nice. So thanks for doing that. And yeah, there's Kelly. Merry Christmas to you. Anybody else jumping on? Just let us know. So is there any significance? Now, last week we were talking about mince pies and the actual spices used in mince pies had some significance, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. They did.
Can
They
you remember what it was?
The three kings,
the three
gifts.
wise
men, or the three gifts.
The three gifts, yeah. So, is there any significance in this fruit cake, which I'm now going to try as a servant of you all?
I think the only significance is you'll gain a few calories eating this rich Christmas cake.
It is really good.
So I heard that in the US, our friends apparently give fruitcake at Christmas for gifts. Anybody that is watching ever done that in the US? But they don't call them Christmas cakes. But in Canada, they do the same thing, but they call it Christmas cake.
We have obviously done extensive research on this subject for our viewers. Now, earlier on today in the Jeff and Ori broadcast, I asked people like Karen Bauer who were logged on, you know, what's the equivalent of a Christmas cake in America? And she said, what was it?
Cinnamon rolls.
Cinnamon rolls. Best cinnamon rolls in the US, in Colorado, aren't they?
Yeah, they are rather good.
Huge, huge. So
yes.
Why don't we share, what have we been doing the last couple of days?
It's been a busy few days, hasn't it? You're going to take part, Jeff, in a national initiative here early next year called the Big Church Read. And it's going to be your new book coming out in February called Singing in Babylon. And hopefully this will also be able to hopefully be picked up in the US as well, encouraging people over there in the churches to follow on as well. It's rather exciting. Yesterday we were filming some pieces to go along with the Big Church Read, where people can use them in their small groups as well.
Timberline family will remember that a couple of years ago we were looking at Daniel and his story in exile. And the research that I did for that morphed into this book, Singing in Babylon. The subtitle is Finding Purpose in Life's Second Choices. And let's face it,
this year has
all been about second choices at so many different levels. Anyway, this book is coming out in February in the US and UK and all over the place. And I'm really excited about this because the idea of the Big Church Read is to have hundreds of small groups, individuals, churches, reading the book. And then what we were filming yesterday, it was downloadable video, 5-minute slots to go with each chapter. So if you participate in this, then we can work through the book together. So that's the idea.
Sort of encouraging, isn't it, where you can have a group going on the same journey at the same time.
Exactly that, yeah, which is really great. And then of course we've been, conference calls and Zoom calls back to Colorado for Timberline and lots of things going on. So anyway, we can see now quite a few of you still jumping on and joining us, and we are eating Christmas cake on your behalf because we love to serve, and enjoying a cup of tea in English China.
Yes.
Which somehow it always tastes better, doesn't it? A cup of tea.
Plus, this is loose tea leaves, not tea bags.
Right.
So the proper way of making an English cup of tea.
So here's a rather unusual Christmas card. Let me show you that. It's unusual not just because Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus are apparently choosing a sort of brown tent to have Jesus in, but also because unusually Joseph is appearing on the card. normally with the nativity scene, you see he's the chap in blue. He's got a beard, and Mary's the chap in red,
The lady in red.
lady in red. The lady in red hasn't got a beard, and normally Joseph never gets a look in on the Christmas
It's
cards.
true, yeah.
You know, you've got the Magi, and you've got the shepherds, and you've got a few grinning cows and sheep, and then you've got baby Jesus in the manger, and you've got Mary, but Joseph, he's not normally to be seen. This is quite unusual. He's like, you know, he's out the back fixing a wonky coffee table or something. But in this Christmas card, he's getting a look in, and I'm really pleased about that. And the reason for that is Joseph is often the overlooked, unsung hero in the Christmas story. And as you've joined us today, just a couple of things there. First of all, Joseph had this incredible sensitivity to the Holy Spirit. And he had not one, not two, not three, sounds like I'm trying to sell a piece of Christmas cake, but 4 dreams where God spoke to him. And those dreams actually saved the baby Jesus from the program of terror that Herod had instigated. If Joseph hadn't heard from God, well, we just don't know how the story would have unfolded. But he was a vital part of the story because he had that sensitivity. And so that sort of challenges me that at this Christmas time, in what is obviously one of the strangest Christmases we've ever experienced, it challenges me, I'm sure us, to say to God, is there anything fresh and new that you want to say to us as we begin the transition into what we hope will be a much happier new year? Joseph was sensitive to the Holy Spirit. But the other thing is, he changed his mind. He was not just sensitive, but he was responsive. He had decided to divorce Mary because they were betrothed, and it was a little bit like marriage, but not marriage. But when he had these dreams, he changed his mind and went in a different direction. He was adaptable and responsive to God. And I thought, that is a major plus in anyone's character, to be able to think, I'm going to do this, but then to stop in their tracks and say, no, actually, that's not God's way. I'm going to change direction. You know, it's possible for us to believe in doing the right thing and not do the right thing. It's possible for us to just go plowing on with our own direction. But Joseph was sensitive to God, but also responsive to God. And I think that's why it's so important for us to follow his example. Well, already mentioned, I think, Haley, who wishes us a Merry Christmas. And if not, let me mention again.
Yeah, and Esther also wishing us a Merry Christmas from Oregon.
Whereabouts in Oregon are you, Esther? We'd love to know about that. And then Heather, a friend Heather Sutton, says, good day, Jeff and Kay. Have a happy Christmas. It's a phrase we tend to use here.
We use that in England more than Merry Christmas, yeah.
And Jonathan, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your fantastic name, Jonathan, but enjoy your cake, smiley face. I used to attend Timberline Fort Collins, and now you live in Mexico. Blessings, and blessings to you as well. Let's have a few more people before we finish up here. Just jump in and tell us where you are, or just say hello. Tell us what the weather's like. Tell us what your favorite Christmas food is. Tell us anything you like, but we would love to hear from you. As we're waiting for a few more people to jump in, any other Christmas cake around the world information that perhaps you were able to glean for us? Because let's face it, it's endlessly fascinating.
Oh, I know. Well, lots of people around the world actually enjoy the fruit cake. India was one of them. Sri Lanka was another. They typically use treacle instead of cane sugar. The Philippines enjoy a yellow pound cake for their Christmas holidays. And of course, Germany have the Stollen cake. Stollen.
It's also called Weihnachtsstollen something. Or Christstollen. I'm just trying to read that first off, and it didn't go very well, did it? Esther's there in Lebanon, Oregon. We used to live in Albany, just down the road, Esther. But you used to live in Windsor, Colorado. So greetings to you. And then Charlotte
from Fort Collins.
Merry Christmas to you, Charlotte. And then Haley Tea cake cookies. Tea cake cookies are lovely because you can
Hmm.
decorate tea cake cookies.
I don't know. Yeah, we have tea cakes here, but they're more more like oh gosh, a toasted tea cake. So I'm not really sure what a tea cake cookie is.
Well, I think that's about it from us. Brenda says, Merry Christmas from Fort Collins. It's a lovely 21 degrees.
Oh,
Is that
that's
cold?
no, I think that's pretty pleasant actually.
But I think that's 21 degrees in old money. I always get confused between Celsius and Fahrenheit. I don't, I'm not sure. I think that sounds pretty cold.
If it's Fahrenheit, it's cold.
So here's the deal. Next week, Thursday is Christmas Eve, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah.
So instead of having tea with Jeff and Kay on Thursday, because everybody will be doing lots of other different things, next Tuesday at this time,
Mm.
which is 4 p.m. UK time, and our friends at Timberline Church, 9 a.m. Colorado time, will be coming to you next Tuesday. And there'll be a reminder about that up on the Timberline Facebook page. To everybody, including Terry, who's just jumped in and said Merry Christmas from Windsor, Colorado, and Haley, who's advised us about those tea
Those.
cake cookies.
It's like a sugar cookie. Ah, okay.
So thanks for enlightening us about that. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. And
Mm.
do you think I could borrow your heated curlers, see if I could get the same effect?
Not sure it's going to work for you, Jeff. Sorry.
Okay, that's what I have to deal with. Lots of love, everybody. Bye
Have a
bye.
great weekend. Bye bye.
God bless.